Also, as you know, preparations now for a summit between President Trump and Russian President Putin have been called off. The White House releasing a statement today saying that there are no plans for Trump and Putin to meet again in the immediate future. The Kremlin downplaying the idea of a second summit. A spokesperson for Putin saying you can't postpone what was not scheduled. This all comes just days after Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, who is pushing for additional U.S. military aid. For more on all of this, let's discuss with our ABC News' Christiane Cordero. So, Christiane, first of all, what exactly is happening here? And what does it mean for the president's, especially President Trump's, patience? Might be running out with Russia, do we think?
Well, it's at the very least being tested, and it very well, Kana, could be running thin. That summit that was in the works between President Trump and Vladimir Putin was postponed after a phone call today between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. The joint statement appeared diplomatic, but it followed a statement from the Kremlin that basically said, summit? What summit? And verbatim, you just said it. They said that they can't postpone what was not scheduled. And as these on-again, off-again talks kind of keep mulling in the background, it is just the latest example of a peace deal that appears no closer to being accomplished today than it was really just months ago, despite that summit that you see right there in Alaska in August when President Trump rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin. They met under this banner that said pursuing peace. There were threats of sanctions if Putin right then and there did not agree to a ceasefire, or at the very least a trilateral meeting between President Trump and President Zelenskyy. None of that has happened, and there have been no consequences since. In fact, today Lavrov said that he does not support a ceasefire because he says it does not address the root causes of the war. A reminder, Russia invaded Ukraine more than 3.5 years ago, sparking that war that has intensified only in recent months. Kana.
Right. Certainly a tremendous amount of scrutiny in the aftermath of that Alaskan summit. But also, what does this mean, Christiane, for the talks about those American-made Tomahawk missiles that Ukraine has been wanting?
Yeah, that also appears to be on ice, or at least not progressing the way that it seemed like it was even just a week ago. You remember President Trump and the administration overall seemed open to the idea of sending American-made Tomahawks to Ukraine in support for their asks for security guarantees. Those can travel well into Russian territory, some, more than 1,000 kilometers. I believe I have the exact number somewhere. But it's something that President Putin really opposed, and he was able to get ahead of President Zelensky's visit to the White House, where they were expected to and did in fact discuss those Tomahawks. Putin spoke with Trump for about 2 hours before Zelensky's arrival and had the opportunity to try his best to talk him out of it. And now its fate seems uncertain. Kana.
All right, Christiane Cordero, our thanks to you as always.